Honorable Chancellor Sir, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor Sir, Honorable Senior Vice President Sir, Honorable Vice President Sir, I, on behalf of the entire Amity family, welcome you all to this session. And also a grand welcome to our guest, Mr. Gurpreet Bhatia, for gracing this occasion. Academia and industry shares a symbiotic relationship. Academia produces graduates, conducts research, which is ultimately absorbed by the industry. The key to such relationship is a regular interaction between the academia and the industry. In the quest for such an enlightening and path-breaking interaction, we have with us our guest today, Mr. Gurpreet Bhatia, CEO, Livguard Energy Technology Limited. Allow me to give a brief introduction of our honored guest today. Mr. Bhatia, an engineer by profession, comes with a formidable experience of over 30 years in B2B and B2C channels in local and global roles of sales, marketing, and strategy. During his tenure with companies like Castrol India and Shell, he has gained vast expertise in the leadership of large teams and setting up new businesses. PL accountability, international marketing, brand and channel management, business development, relationship management, and operations. Armed with the required experience and expertise of successfully operating large and multicultural and cross-functional team, both at local and global level. He is also supported by his unique leadership and communication skill, which has been instrumental in planning new entries and establishing small brands at district level, national, and international geographies. So, on behalf of the entire Amity family, I extend my welcome to you, and we are very, very thankful for your presence here. Sir, over to you now.
Thank you, Professor Alam, and to all the dignitaries present at the summit today. I think all the students, so a warm good afternoon, namaskar, from one student to all the 500 students on the call. I consider myself deeply humbled with this introduction. As I said, I can still consider myself as a student, despite this 30 years of experience, because as was stated earlier, learning never stops, and learning comes from a continuous process, which this great institute and a brand Amity is providing to all of you. My relationship with Bihar is very long. I remember when I was in a boarding school, and in that days, this is way back in the early 80s, we came to Delhi to do my 10th and 12th. And this was at DPS RK Puram, and we had a lot of my colleagues coming from the state of Bihar. And it was really inspiring to see these youngsters with a clear, big vision and mission to achieve. So, you know, us time school mein, we used to get a shared room, and these colleagues from Bihar would get an independent room. And हम जब सवाल करते थे कि इनको क्यों दिया जाता है, and our house master used to say, बच्चे, these are the guys who are going to get into IAS, they are going to get into AIMS, they are going to get into IIT, और उनको बड़ा dedicated time चाहिए तैयारी करने का. And that was my first learning about this great state of Bihar, and also as a personal learning what ambitions and what big goals mean to individuals. Uske baad, I did my 12th, and then I wanted to aspire. I come from an army background. My dad was in the army मेरे फैमिली में बहुत इनफैक्ट द लास्ट आर्मी चीफ वाज माय मामा. तो आर्मी में जाने का, एयरफोर्स में जाने का बहुत शौक था. एंड हम लोग बड़ी तैयारी करके एयरफोर्स में जाना चाहते थे. बट दैट वाज माय सेकंड बिग लाइफ लेसन दैट आई अचीव. बहुत तैयारी की हमने. I cleared everything to become a fighter pilot. However, couldn't succeed to become a fighter pilot, and that was my second big learning lesson of what failure means. I got medically rejected, and I had only 6 months time to recover myself, and then do either engineering or medicine. This is like early 80s. यही हमें पता था, तो हम कुछ बन जाएं. बन गए कुछ. Started my career, and that's where my first induction to the corporate world happened in this great state of Bihar. मेरा पहला sales role was in Bengal. I was the regional manager for Bengal, Northeast, and Bihar. Of the उस time Bihar Jharkhand combined था, and now there are about 38 states, and I was looking at those 38 states, and I realized virtually every state, every district of these 38 districts in Bihar I had visited. And वहाँ पे मेरे को initial grooming हुई, learning about distribution. Floods आते हैं तो distribution कैसे एक नाव में होती है, buses से कैसे remote areas में पहुंचाया जाता है. There's no traditional art of doing business, and Bihar taught me a lot. And this I'm talking of 95, 96. And set a very strong foundation for me as a professional in this whole world of distribution and building brands. उसके बाद जब एक मैनेजर के तौर पे great opportunities, I met great people, great food. हम लोग गया से पटना आते थे, और रास्ते में लई की एक बहुत फेमस जगह होती थी जहाँ पे हम लई खाया करते थे. And I have really fond memories of the state of Bihar, which really set the foundation for me as a professional that I have become today. The 2 points I'm making here is that very early on, there were strong learnings that I got, strong inputs that I got from your great state, and that's one of the key big drivers for a leader, and something that I will talk about in my subsequent discussion. But coming back now to the point about industry, academia, engagement, how that can propel India Inc. into 2030. I'm really excited. I think there was a lot said that we are sparing our time for this 1 hour discussion, but I can tell you it's Dr. Pandey's perseverance and my whole keenness to come and learn. I learned a lot in the morning session, and you are the future leaders. And this is a great initiative by Amity to get industry and the academia together. I think I see it from two perspectives. One is the whole functional or learning aspect of what the institute provides. But I really like the 3 A's that were outlined. And one of the specific areas that industry and academia can really benefit, and a summit like this can really inculcate in youngsters and youth like yourself on the call, is around building leaders. I think this whole softer aspect of what leadership is all about, that human element, which is so pivotal and so critical in industries, is an area that industry can provide and bring in a very close interface to build the future leaders as they are in this great institute. The second big area I feel, and we talked about 2030, but is the need for us to really understand the all the global trends which are going on, and there are several global trends which are going on, whether it's around big data, whether it's around digitization, whether it's around electric mobility and shared mobility, whether it's around industry 4.0, and so on and so forth. I think there's a great opportunity to really learn from the Western world how they are building into their curriculum to develop their whole uptake and input to children or students to prepare them for this future, because all these new innovations, new technologies are going to impact our business. But here the most critical point is that we just cannot, pick up. We'll have to tailor it, we'll have to adapt it, and we'll have to do a localized innovation from an Indian context to really make these innovations useful and relevant from an Indian context. And India is a different country. We just cannot do a copybook, cut and paste, and bring these innovations. But my urge to the academia would be to look at these global trends, to look at what curriculum the global institutes, and I'm really pleased to hear that of the 13 universities, a lot are global. And that is what is going to propel and provide the necessary skill sets for the leaders of tomorrow. And we are really, really hungry as industry to get most of you into our folds. I'm always excited when I engage with youngsters, and it's a great platform for me to share some of my experiences with youngsters, and a couple of things that I would like to share with you. One is around the need for every person or a youngster like you to be very true to your sense of purpose and values. I think these are buzzwords. Organizations have values. People say we have values. Amity as an institute have values. But values are the true north, जिसको कहते हैं ना. आपकी फैमिलीज में फाउंडेशन बनी, फिर स्कूल कॉलेजेस में अब फाउंडेशन बन रही है. Stay always true to your values. I think इसको आप imbibe कर लें, because that is what is going to drive you as a person. That is going to drive you as a person in your life. And each one of you have big dreams, big goals. As Subeh, I was really relating to the statement that the founder made, कि हम अपने जब goals set करते हैं, हम उनको announce कर देते हैं. And I can share with you from my personal experience when I was in early 30s. हमें बताया जाता था, and in organization self development के लिए we used to write our personal goals, we used to write our professional goals, and we used to write even our financial goals. ये सब चीजें important है for a person overall, future when you look at life. And one thing which really stayed with me was, Gurpreet, write these goals and share with someone. Because once you share it with someone and your founders, and I've seen it now with several leaders, they announce the goals in very open forum, and then they are held accountable for these goals. So I would urge you, set these goals, announce them, and set goals which are stretched. Do not set goals कि मेरे को 80% लेने हैं, मेरे को 90% लेने हैं. Goals which are stretched and goals with a medium to long term. I have greatly benefited from my life setting these goals, and then perseverance to and the resilience to deliver these goals is very, very crucial. There's no substitute for hard work. There's no shortcut. ये जो basic principles है ना life के, they are absolutely vital for individual personal growth and satisfaction. So that's absolutely. So just to share and summarize, have a clear purpose, stay true to your values, and set very, very ambitious and stretched goals. What this is going to push you towards a bit of a discomfort. And let me share with you, हम लोग बहुत बारी अपने कंफर्ट जोन में आ जाते हैं. मैं सेल्स में था, फिर 12 साल I looked after the India business for Shell. And then I was asked by my leadership that, Gurpreet, now it's time for you to move out of India and look at a global business. I said, why? I'm doing well. So they said very clearly, Gurpreet, now you're in a comfort zone. आपको पता है पूरे country के बारे में. You know the people, you know the business, you know the market. Now it's time for you to move to a discomfort zone. You will develop as a person, and two areas they said you are going to develop. You are going to develop influencing skills, and you are going to learn how to deal with multi-cultures. So I had to deal with Chinese, Americans, Germans, and I was traveling like 140 days a night between flights. And the amount I learned from the experiences of others was phenomenal. And that period of 6 years, this was from 2012 to 2018, is when I moved to the next stage of my life. And the reason I was able to do this is I was able to move out of my discomfort zone or comfort zone into a discomfort zone. And that's very, very important. And zaruri nahi hai har time aap aise moves kare, you have to do it for a promotion or more money. It's just because you are hungry for learning. And third point I would like to make is make learning a passion. Like I said in my opening, it's one student to the 500 students that I'm talking to, or today's talk is all about. I'm still a student. And I remember हमारे एक बड़े senior leader आए थे from the US, and we were having a leadership chat. So we asked him, generally हर time यही होता है कि what makes you successful? And he said, Gurpreet, we were about 8-10 of us. He said, the only thing I do is when I get into the office, I try to leave it better than what I took over yesterday. It's a very profound statement of continuous learning and continuous improvement. कि मैं एक जिस ढंग से काम कर रहा था, जैसे मैंने कल किया, आज मेरा मकसद होता है कि मैं कल से आज बेहतर काम करूं. And that improvement, continuous improvement can come only from continuous learning and drive to excel. That has really, really stayed with me for life, and make learning as a continuous journey. You can learn from your colleagues, peers, books, but make learning deep for yourself. कि मेरे को अपने लिए, हम लोग ना कॉर्पोरेट में भी यही बात करते हैं कि हमें ट्रेनिंग सेशन पे भेज दो, हमें कहीं प्रोग्राम में भेज दो, लेकिन you need to ask yourself how much of time and energy you invest in yourself to continuously improve. And learning cannot stop after you graduate from your Amity Institute. It is a daily process, and make that as a really, really passion. That's worked really well for me. And as you would have heard in my introduction, I'm an engineer. I don't have fancy MBAs like a lot of you professionals are going to get really good qualification. मुझे याद है कि मैं Shell जब इंडिया में एंटर हुई 93 में, I was the 7th employee for Shell, and एक हमारे यूनिलीवर से मार्केटिंग डायरेक्टर होते थे, and he called me one day. He says, you're going to become a brand manager for one of the brands that we are going to launch, Shell Helix. I had no idea. I had no ABC of what brand management is all about. मैं उनकी रूम में जब अगले दिन मीटिंग होती थी, तो उससे पहले या उस दौरान फिलिप कॉटलर की बुक्स जो आप सब पढ़ रहे होंगे, वो पढ़ के समझ के कि यार क्या कॉन्वर्सेशन करनी है, I used to enter the room. And then in the room, I used to kind of make a list of all the things that I'm learning in the meeting. And this is where I would like to share the fourth very key element is about listening. Listening is so important. हमारे कल्चर में होता है कि हम अगर ज़्यादा बोलते हैं, और स्पेशली इन अ स्कूल और कॉलेज एनवायरनमेंट, जो सबसे पहले हाथ ऊपर उठाता है, ही इज कंसिडर्ड टू बी द इंटेलिजेंट किड. होता है ऐसे. लेकिन अगर आप अपने environment में भी देखेंगे, there are so many people, so many youngsters, so many people who are quiet. It's not that वो डफर हैं या they are bored or they are not interested. It's just because they are listening, they are learning. And make listening, active listening, very, very crucial, because learning and listening go hand in hand. And today, as a CEO, also there are times when I share with my colleagues that I don't know it all. I'm not the best R&D guy. I'm not the best manufacturing guy. I'm not the best brand guy. I don't know it all. And there are several youngsters in my team who teach me every day, and I just listen, ask a question and listen. Inculcate this habit early on of active listening. चाहे आप न्यूज़ सुन रहे हैं, चाहे आप किसी कॉलीग से बात कर रहे हैं, आप ask a question and silently listen. You will learn a lot. That's worked really great for me. Another area which from my life I can share is that, especially when you now want to enter a corporate world, you'll be hungry for success, hungry for growth, promotions. And मेरे एक्सपीरियंस में मैंने देखा है कि we tend to trample, या हम दूसरे लोगों को सपोर्ट नहीं करते हैं क्योंकि आप चाहते हैं कि मेरे को प्रमोशन मिल जाए, मैं आगे ग्रो कर जाऊं, और अगर एक ही पोजीशन है तो आपको करना ही पड़ेगा ये. लेकिन फ्रॉम माय एक्सपीरियंस I have really benefited from really building collaboration, teamwork, and helping others succeed. जब आप सीईओ पे पहुंच जाते हैं तो आपकी टीम की सक्सेस, आपके प्रोफेसर, आपके को फाउंडर डॉक्टर चौहान ने सुबह बोला कि the reason why he is successful or the founder is successful is a lot dependent on the team that has been with him for the last 16, 20 years. And they have been successful because he had such a fabulous team, and he empowered them to succeed. He helped them to succeed. I would just leave a message with all the youngsters that make sure you help others to succeed. Make sure you create a very strong collaboration and teamwork environment, because that's the environment which propels growth. And I think when I was hearing the session, a big reason for Amity's success is the teamwork and collaboration and respect they have for each other. Is very, very important. And all these worked. They have worked for me as a person. They work in the corporate world, and it's really valued. I also feel that when you are embarking on your careers or journeys in a corporate life, I've been a very firm believer that I am personally responsible for the choices I make and the destiny that I would like to reach. हम बहुत बारी circumstances, environment, macro, micro, and मेरी एक बड़ी simple analogy है कि we all know in India driving conditions are very tough. Either you can stick your neck out of shutter window पे नीचे करके and start shouting and howling at others, or you can be peaceful by yourself. That gives you contemplating time, thinking time. So the point I'm trying to make here is that please take responsibility of the choices you make, of the decisions you take. It's very, very crucial not to abdicate this responsibility to others. ये अपने लैंग्वेज में ये निकाल देना चाहिए कि यार तुमने ऐसा नहीं किया या तुमने ऐसा करवा दिया. Because when you do something, you take that decision yourself, and that's very, very crucial. So create choices and be responsible for those choices that you've taken. When you move out, and you will move out in this great world, of 7 billion people, you're going to meet people from several states, several countries. And one thing that I've experienced in my life, having worked in global organizations, is learn to respect diversity. हमारी human race is very, very diverse. Every individual is unique. आपने अपने फ्रेंड्स में भी देखा होगा, आपने अपने बैचमेट्स में भी देखा होगा, लेकिन हमारी टेंडेंसी होती है कि वी ट्राई टू स्टिक अराउंड विद आवर पीपल जो हमारी तरह के होते हैं. हमें जिस टाइप का हमें म्यूजिक पसंद है उसी टाइप के हम फ्रेंड्स बनाते हैं, जिस टाइप की मूवीज पसंद है उसी टाइप के फ्रेंड्स, खाना पसंद है. सो वी ट्राई टू क्रिएट अ कम्युनिटी और अ हर्ट. Yes, community is good. Now the world is moving to digital communities. But it's very, very important now in this connected and global world to respect and understand the diversity that people and this human race provides. And with that diversity, it will be amazing what success and results that one individual or an organization can achieve, because you will get new ideas, people come with different thoughts, different approaches. I think one big example that I'm sure you would have heard or learned in your colleges is that Apple hired the CEO of Burberry, which is a luxury brand, as their executive vice president of retail. Now, where is Burberry, which is a clothing luxury brand, to a tech solution company? And she took up this role. She took a demotion. And the reason why Apple did this was the diversity that she provided in this whole retail experience, this whole consumer mindset. And it's been a great success in terms of what diversity can provide. There are mariners. We have spoken to US Marine. So I participated in a leadership program. हम लोग leadership program सोचते हैं कि हार्वर्ड का advanced management program कर लें. लेकिन I was fortunate that in one of the leadership program we were taken to US Marines. And US Marines is like the epitome of how leadership and one of the things that we learned from there is that there is an unflinching trust they have on each other. So you can learn because of diversity from people across the world. Lastly, I would like to share that life is beautiful. There are, आपके मैंने सवाल देखे कि you can get very busy and it's going to be very tough in a career, but I can tell you life is beautiful even in organizations. There is a big focus on work-life balance. Do inculcate hobbies, interests. Organizations encourage all of you to develop your interests and hobbies, and that's a great outlay for what you can develop as a person. And of course, family is very, very crucial to anything that you do. Whether you want career success, whether you want professional and personal growth, the role of family is so deeply ingrained. Otherwise, things can get very, very difficult. So these have been some of my journeys that life lessons कह लें या कुछ भी कह लें, Professor Alam, that have shaped me over the years. One last point before we open for Q&A is that I've been very fortunate over my career, last 30 years, to have great mentors. I can think of at least 6 of them when starting from very early career to even now, who guide me, who really inspire me. and have played a very big role as a role model to build or shape the person that I am or that I've become. Yes, there's a long journey ahead. As I, in conclusion, would like to say, I'm still a student. I learned a lot today, and I really thank Dr. Pandey for inviting me, and really humbled. I boosted my participation on my LinkedIn account and to my friends and family, and really appreciate being with you all. And I'm really excited to get questions which will be more specific around my company and what do I do. So we can spend the next 25 minutes or so talking about what I'm doing at Livguard. Thank you. Stay safe and stay blessed.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your experience. I'm very much sure that the participants, especially the students, must have become enriched listening to you and your life lessons. And it was so nice to know that even after 30 years of experience managing locations and companies in India and abroad, you still consider yourself as a student. So this is something very nice that we are listening from a person of such a repute experience. Now, as I said that the students have got enriched listening to you, there are a lot of questions that are coming up. So I'll be taking up the questions from the students one by one. So I invite Ariba to pose the first question. Over to you, Ariba.
Good afternoon, sir, and everyone present over here. I'm Mariba Shami from MBA third semester. Sir, it's an honor to have you here, and we welcome you all.
Thank you.
Being in the organization for so long and having your feet and achieved success, you are indeed a success story, sir. Sir, please enlighten us with some key lessons from your professional life, which will help us to climb the ladder of professional success. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Ariba. I wish you well. I think I outlined a lot of my life lessons in the last 20 minutes or so. If I were to just recap once again, I think having a clear sense of purpose, staying true to your values and goals, very crucial. Staying hungry for learning, listening, having role models is extremely crucial. Staying curious, very crucial. And I think this whole respect and people element, or the human element, and I was something that I can add is that we talk of human as a resource. I've always operated with the mindset of human as a possibility. There are immense possibilities that a human has. Every employee that we hire has, and that's how I've treated building very non-transactional relationships with them. And yes, taking accountability of what we need to do, or what I need to do as a person, and what we need to do as a business is very important, Ariba. So broadly, those are the themes that shape any leader, any future leader, according to me, and that's really helped me in my life.
Thank you, sir.
Professor Mubashir.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry for the interruption. I now call upon Tushali to pose the next question. Over to you, Tushali.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to everyone present over here. Thank you, sir, for being a part of Amity University, Patna. I am Tushali from BHMC Department,
Tushali,
5th
go ahead,
semester.
please.
Livguard is one of the pioneer company in offering energy storage solution for e-vehicles. How does the future of electric vehicles in India look like to you, sir? Thank you.
Thanks, Sushali. I'm glad your interest in EV. So I think we all know that EV is the future from an environment perspective, and that's where the world is moving towards. India has set some very ambitious goals. As a government, they've announced that by 2030, most of the vehicles need to be EV. But I've got one big hypothesis, Tushali. Uh, in India, we are, I think, a pioneer and already a leader in EV. अगर आप पटना में देखेंगे, there will be a lot of e-rickshaws which are plying, and one of the biggest market is Bengal. There are about close to 1.5 million e-rickshaws which are already on Indian roads, and they have sprouted in the last 3-4 years, and this number is only going to grow. So we are already EV in a big way. Is my big first hypothesis. जो आप newspaper में पढ़ते हैं, this is all about Tesla and cars, but India में EV revolution had started some 3 years back. I think in our view, while the big noise will be on passenger cars, on buses and mobility, but two areas which are going to accelerate as far as EV is concerned. One is this whole small, medium commercial goods and commuter last mile connectivity of autos and e-rickshaws. That's going to boom in a very big way. And the second big area which is going to boom in a big way is the two-wheeler side of the business. India is a large two-wheeler market, and two-wheeler electric mobility is going to be a major game changer in years to come. We still are a couple of years, to reach that status. Government, you may have seen that government has recently announced a PLI scheme, a production-linked incentive scheme. We are now going to become a big manufacturing hub for cell manufacturing, which is the core of a lithium battery. And this is a huge step forward. Government has allocated about 18,100 crores for this program. So there is a serious intent to set up large mega scale manufacturing in the country. We have been investing in this category for the last 3 years. And I'm really pleased to share, Professor Pandey and the team, that we've also taken the route of leveraging academia and working very closely with them at the ISER facility in Pune, where there is such a depth of knowledge. Because as I said, there's nothing that can revolutionize India which will be just a plug and play from the global world. Our markets are unique. If you think of a e-rickshaw, jo Patna mein chal rahi hai, it doesn't exist anywhere in the world. And this was purely an Indian innovation of the last mile connectivity.
Very true. Very true.
So the role of building this very localized EV application and understanding of application in an Indian context is very, very crucial, while we'll learn from technologies over the world. So we are very bullish about EV in the years to come. Our thinking is two-wheeler, three-wheeler, auto, and e-rickshaw is going to be very fast in the next 2-3 years. And then, of course, cars and buses and big vehicles will take time. It'll take its own time. There's a whole charging infrastructure which has to be set up, but very, very positive about how India is going to progress on EV.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Now we move on to the next question. So we have Ansh with his question. Ansh, please go ahead.
Good afternoon to one and to everyone present here. First of all, I would like to thank you, sir, for providing me such an opportunity. And then I would also like to thank Mr. Gurpreet Bhatia for joining us today at this event and providing us with such a great insight and valuable life lessons. So my question to you is, corporate work life is quite challenging. As student of business administration, we would like to know what are the qualities needed in an individual to cope up with the challenges and excel in the corporate world.
So I think
Ansh.
Ansh,
Ansh.
right? Ansh, I addressed
Yes.
this in great detail earlier. No different to normal life. Stay as 4 or 5 things that I outlined in
Okay,
terms
sir.
of staying true to your purpose and value. Hard work is respected. Learning, continuous learning, development, and delivery is appreciated. Building a collaborative and teamwork is very important. And lastly, be responsible for the choices that you make.
Yes,
So
sir.
those are the broad big themes of what corporate life is not a big animal that you guys think that pata nahi kya ho jayega. It's a great place to really get excited. It's a fun place, and as I said, it's another phase of your life. Don't stress yourself at all. You will have the same young batchmates, and the added advantage is you get paid for it. You get money for it.
Okay.
So you will really enjoy the corporate life. Don't stress yourself at all, and just
Yes,
stay to the foundations that your family is given and Amity is providing to you.
yes, sir. Thank you for your answer, sir.
One more question we have from Kumar Rahul Dev. So, Rahul, over to you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good
Sir,
afternoon.
it was very great listening to you. I am Kumar Rahul Dev of MBA third semester. Sir, as we know that being a CEO is a very demanding job, and it is also very important to have a healthy work-life balance. Sir, so my question to you is, what has been your mantra to maintain work-life balance? It would be very interesting to know your favorite relaxation activity. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Kumar. I think let me share with you that being a CEO is not as demanding as potentially what Amity puts you guys through. I've got a 25-year-old youngster who works at Bain, and the kind of projects you have to work through over the night, and submissions and all that work that you guys have to do. So it's not at all demanding. I can tell you, 24 हैं तो 24 घंटे किसी भी व्यक्ति के पास. So it's just that over the 30 years you gain that experience to prioritize things, to do things which are urgent, which are important, which have more impact on the organization. So and a lot of time a CEO can, my view is, and I was sharing with my colleagues the other day, that my life is not as demanding as theirs because my team is fully empowered to get on with life, get on with work, and they do most of the stuff. So I get my thinking time, and coming back to your point on what do I do in my spare time. So work-life balance is a topic I got introduced at Shell, and this was way back in 98. और हम Indians and global company, British, Dutch heritage, तो हमारा mindset ये होता है कि यार रगड़ाई करते रहें, हम मेहनत करते रहें, जितनी ज़्यादा रगड़ाई और मेहनत करेंगे उतना हमें फल मिलेगा. तो I'll share with you a story that I was with my Dutch boss in Bombay, and we were in the car, and he asked me, Gurpreet, have you planned your annual vacation? हम लोग सब सुनते हैं ना कि Europeans, they take their annual vacation around Christmas and then summer. and Americans also do that. So I said, yaar, Indian mindset, yaar, what are you talking about annual vacation? Le lenge kabhi ek hafta, 10 din le lenge. He said, Gurpreet, have you ever thought of 3 weeks vacation? I mean, I said, यार 3 हफ्ते की vacation तो कंपनी डूब जाएगी. जैसे ना कंपनी मेरे सिर पे ही चल रही थी. I was a global marketing manager that time. He said, Gurpreet, when you take a week off, you are, just about disconnecting your BlackBerry. उस time BlackBerry होता था. By Monday, Tuesday, you get into with your family for about 2-3 days. And then by Thursday, Friday, again, you are starting thinking of your work. Okay, Monday ko jaake work has to start. Actually, I took a 3-week holiday and I took a road trip to Ladakh. I can share with you, nothing changed. The company did well. The business did deliver the way it was happening, because the company is not just one person. It's a set of people who are doing their work to deliver the organization. So एक तो ये mindset निकाल दो आप कि वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस खराब हो जाता है. जो चीजें आप सोचते हो कि आपने कैंटीन में जो गपशप मारनी है 1 घंटा या आपने अड्डाबाजी करनी है, वो सब खत्म हो जाता है. Nothing like that. Yeah, everything is pretty normal. What I do, so I take my breaks. We encourage people, our colleagues, to take their breaks. So if work-life balance is important to you, join a company whose values are aligned to yours, who encourage all these things. Personally, I play golf. So every Sunday, I spend 5 hours with my friends playing golf. So that's a big hobby. And let me share with you another aspect, that in 2007, I said to myself, I'm going to learn a hobby. And you have to again write these goals and you have to announce it to the world. So I learned music and I started playing golf. दो चीजें मैंने उस time सीखी. This was in 2007, 13 years ago. I was like 42, 43-year-old that time. 39, 40-ish. I'm 52 now. So hobbies को inculcate करना उनको passionately, and that's because of yourself, is very, very crucial. What do I do these days? Netflix, everyone watches. No different. I also watch Netflix. आपने जो latest Ludo देखी होगी, मैंने भी देखी हुई है. जो आपने series देखी हैं, Suits देखी हैं, Friends देखे हैं, मैंने भी देखे हुए हैं. So there's no different. We get the time with family. We cook food. We watch movies. We play. We listen to music like I used to do in college. So no different. Yeah. So those are the things that help me stay balanced, and that's very, very important.
Thank you, sir.
One last question, sir, from Shikhar Prasad. Shikhar, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. A very good afternoon, sir. I am Shikhar Prasad, currently pursuing Bachelor's of Business Administration from Amity University, Patna. So I believe in these challenging COVID times, it is very important for every organization to keep their workforce motivated. So, sir, my question is, how difficult has it been to keep the morale of employees high, workforce motivated?
That's a great question. I think COVID is on everyone's mind. So thanks for that question, Shikha. We were equally impacted in the month of March. This was around the 20th of March when the lockdown happened. And I had to go back to the drawing board and start thinking of the business. Revenue generation हो नहीं रही थी, cash flows were tight, and we were strapped for cash. So how do you pay salaries? How do you incur your fixed expenses? And it took me about a week or so, and we came up clearly, and this is where leadership is as important as some of the actions. Making the uncertain certain. That's a simple message, that we set for ourselves, that now the role of leadership and every person, every employee in the company is making the uncertain certain. Take the un out of uncertain. That's what every person has to do. And we said, what are the uncertainties which are going to hit us? There is going to be demand uncertainty. Consumer aapka maal lega ke nahi. There is going to be revenue uncertainty. If they are not buying your goods and services, there's no revenue. There's going to be cash flow uncertainty. Market is closed. They will not pay your debts. And there is going to be potential uncertainty of human life, lockdown, all those aspects. So we said, how are we going to make the uncertainty certain? And we clearly defined two areas. Make the uncertainty certain for our people and for our business. So let me share with you what we did quickly in summary of what we did on the business side. So on the business side, we clearly defined that we are a growth company. We are growing at about 60% every year. This company started 6 years ago, and I've been the CEO for 4 years. Today, we are a 3,000 crore company in 6 years. We are growing 60% every year. That's the rapid growth. So we said, we are going to maintain that hunger for growth mindset, and our actions are going to be determining that growth. There were companies who were contracting, they were cutting costs. We said, we are not going to cut costs, we are going to invest. So we started advertising more, we started distributing more, we got hungry for market share. So that was absolutely pivotal for us. Thirdly, we said we are going to keep our costs low. And there's a difference between cutting cost and keeping costs low. If people are not traveling, like I have not taken a flight this year, that cost is saved. So we said we are going to optimize our cost. Like we used to advertise on TV. Last year we advertised on IPL and World Cup and elections. This year we didn't have to. IPL only happened now. So we saved costs. So optimize your costs. And when the markets opened on 8th May, we were ready to win the market. And that's what propelled us even in the last 6 months, delivering about 47% growth even this year amongst the COVID scenario. So that's what we did on the business side. But coming back to your question on people side, we said we are going to make the uncertainty certain for people. And it was a simple 4 things that I told the entire country team. First, no one will lose their job.
Very good. Very good.
Even if there is, because March, April time mein you have the annual appraisal system. So logon ka appraisal hota hai, performance rating hoti hai. We were very clear. We told them, even if you have a performance issue, no one will lose their job till this uncertainty is over. That immediately took away the noise जो न्यूज़पेपर में चल रही थी या लोगों के दिमाग में था कि यार मेरी नौकरी का क्या होगा, क्योंकि March and April we didn't have business. So we completely negated this, that no one will lose their job, no one will be terminated. Number 2, we actually honored all our hiring. We have a management graduate program where we hired about 12 graduates from various management institutes. We honored each one of them. So not only was that commitment made to our own employees, but also the external stakeholders, external hires, that they will be joining the company. And we promoted that hiring across the company, that here is a company who's taking actions to promote. Thirdly, we put in place all the necessary kind of requirements. So whether it was work from home is encouraged. So even today, we open office only 3 days a week, although I work whatever days, but we encourage our people, we give them all the necessary facilities to work from home so that the sense of security is there. We took a special term plan, insurance term plan for all our employees covering COVID. We never had a term plan. We took that action to provide security and a sense of satisfaction for our employees. And lastly, I would say there is nothing better than success. When the business was growing, when the people saw their fruits of their labor delivering, we were celebrating every month, the highest ever May, the highest ever June, and there's nothing. Success breeds success and motivation. So broadly, if I were to summarize, there is the mindset of contraction, termination, salary cuts, no training. So we actually took advantage of this environment by really enhancing our virtual training. This was a period where we went digital on training. So we did a lot of people actions to keep them connected. Engagements were enhanced and take the business to the next level. So that's how we took the out of the uncertainty.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir, for answering my question.
Pleasure.
Thank you, sir. And on behalf of the Amity University, Patna, and the Amity family, I wish to express my thanks to you for gracing this occasion and sharing such wonderful and kind words. I mean, especially these question answer sessions must have boosted the morale of our students and also the participants. On this note, I wish to extend my thanks also to the top management of Amity University for envisioning such a grand and intellectually rich event. And special mention to the IT team for their extensive support. And finally, if I don't mention our students, that would be a kind of injustice, because they are the ones who have brought value or added value to this event and session after session. And their contribution is so meaningful to us. So on this note, I once again thank you for sparing your valuable time.
No, really appreciate. Delighted to be part of it. And like Professor Alam and Dr. Pandey, I said I'm a student, so I'll be very keen to get your feedback. I hope it was useful to the team, and what could we do better next time. Really appreciate.
Sure. Thank you so very much, Mr. Bhatia. Thank you so much. I'm really indebted to you, sir.
Not at all. Thank you. Stay safe and stay blessed. Thank you.